YouTubers and camper friends, welcome to Rebel Liners channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Reese 5th Airborne Premium 5th Wheel Air Ride Kingpin. It's rated for 20,000 pound weight capacity. Two-part video. Click up on the top corner if you want to see the Anderson mount for Anderson hitches hooked up to it. That'll be a second part. Right now this will be the regular Kingpin setup, and we're going to get this started. Okay. This pin box will work with the Lippert 1621, the 1621 HD. It will work on the Lippert 0719, the Turning Point series, the Rhino series, and also the Fabex PB 600 series, and of course the Anderson Ultimate Hitches. The really benefits about this that I'm going to show you guys before we get it up there is I'm a huge component of this unit because it is a airbag inside the unit. The airbag is out of the elements, allowing the sun and other things to not dry rot and make it crappy real fast. That's why I'm really big on this unit. I think this is probably one of the best air ride fifth wheel pin boxes on the market. I'm going to show you some things, how it works. We're going to do a full install here safely, and we'll talk about that as we get through the video. So make sure you stay tuned to see the install on the Reese 5th Airborne.
Ambient temperature on the inside,
you can whisper
56 degrees.
behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes.
Some basic tools here. Of course, we have our instructions out, and over here we have some of our basic tools, our 15/16 sockets, open end wrench. We've got a really fancy torque wrench. Not everybody has a fancy torque wrench like this. Any torque wrench will do. We'll talk about torque specs as we proceed. The 5th Airborne hitch, as you can see, it has the shock arm in it, in the back. All the different holes for the mounting purposes of the different configurations due to the different style pin box configurations as far as the camper goes. We have our air chuck conveniently located up top, where this just unscrews and we're able to put air into it. And inside there you can just catch the piece of the airbag that is in there, and we'll see if we can get this flipped up and show you what's going on the inside in a second. If I pull the plastic off here, this is our view window, and we'll talk about the view window, and that'll show you how much air is in the actual airbag itself. So pretty excited here. We'll get this flipped up right now. Just some different angles. You can see where the shock is here on the underneath portion. Of course, we have our massive pin here for a Kingpin, and then there is the rubber airbag, and we're going to go along the other side, and I'm just trying to see if I can get you another angle here. We're not going to get too many more angles, but the airbag is in there, and it is fully sealed and out of the elements, and that's my favorite thing about this ordeal. All right, here we are at the camper. We've got a jack stand. Make sure you check out the video on the Ultra Fab jack stands that we'll be showing, the different styles that work with the Anderson and the Kingpin, and that'll be a different video down in the link below. Real simple here. We're going to start out by removing our electric brake box, which we already have loosened, and all of our bolts, following the instructions to get the old King box out. Make sure, or Kingpin out. Make sure you have your cord out of the way. All right, because we don't want to snag that up while we're doing this. And we'll have this old LCI off, and we're really excited about what we're going to have here. All right, folks, safety first. We've got all the bolts out, but 2 are loose in the rear. This is not something that you want falling down on top of you, okay? So this is a two-man job at this point. Some guys will use forklift tractors, whatever, to get the new one up there to make it a little easier. I'm going to come in the rear, and being that these are loose and ready to come out, I'm just going to take them out here in the rear, leaving one hand guided on there, and with my helper here, we should be able to pull this down, and we should be able to work it right out. Okay, ready? Coming down. Ready? As you can see, we've got the old pin box out, and this is pretty much what's there. Nothing too serious going on here. Real quick on this pin box that we're removing, I just want to show you that it tells us what it is. Okay, this has the pin box model LIPP 1621 HD. So we want to make sure we use our HD settings where the bolt holes are in this new unit. I just want to show you that the removal of the washers, okay, because it comes with new washers and we're going to use them. The old washers were painted on and stuck. Rubber mallet and a light tap just took them off. No big deal at all. All right, I'm just showing these two next to each other. The new and the old. The Reese is approximately 5 to 6 inches longer. I'll give an exact measurement later, which is good. It's going to get it back from the truck a little bit further. So these instructions are now, you're going to go to the page where it talks about what hitch you have. All right, so it's all based in here. You flip through the manual, which is really good manual, and we have two options. Okay, you can see we've got the 1621, two mounting positions that provide 2 inches of adjustment. We can either go with the standard mounting position, and it shows you the holes that will take a paint marker and mark, just so we get them right when we get up there, what holes we're going to be using. Okay, and then, so guys, I got to include this in the video. Huge discovery. I horsed around and could not get, even though the holes measure on my current box up there 7 7/8, I believe it is, the holes where they claim it's supposed to line up, absolutely impossible. We're not talking about the up and down. You know, I can go down with it, I can go up with this hitch. We're talking about the holes that they claim, where you see the X's are what I had to use. I immediately called tech support. They were amazing on the phone. Jackie was awesome. They have confirmed that even I have the newest revision here, which is revision D 11.8 of 21. This is incorrect. They discovered while on the phone, and they emailed this to me. They discovered on the phone that the spots that I came up with, I was correct on. So really, really interesting. We helped them discover this, and they're putting a new revision out immediately on the 1621 HD, 1621. This is the proper pattern, not what they have here. So duly note, if you don't get a new revision that's dated later than 11.8 of 21 on a 1621 HD, this is the correct pattern. The measuring that you can do, and to figure that out correctly, which we're about to do here, we're going to either use these 4 or these 4. Okay, pretty simple. Make sure you look at the owner's manual to confirm your proper setting. We know this is a 1621 HD. So I got some hardware up here. I just want to show you the flat standard washer. Okay, so the flat standard washer is going to go in like this, and on the inside of the pin box, okay, you'll see there's, I don't know if you could tell or not, getting the light here, there's little teeth on this. Okay, the little teeth are going to go against the pin box on the inside like this, with this nut right here in my thumb on the other side of it. That would be how the hardware properly goes. We do not want to over tighten these to begin with. They're a torque spec, and I'll shoot the torque out here soon and show you what the torque spec is. So here in the instructions we show the two different washers, the flat washer on the outside and the conical washer 5/8 on the inside, and which way the teeth go in the instructions. It's all right here. All right, so we got 2 guys on it, and we're debating if we want to get the tractor out or not. And it really, so far, isn't too bad. And we got to make sure we get those center holes. Just hold it up in my shoulder here, and I can't tell where the center holes are at the moment. I'm feeling on the inside just to get an idea where it might be. So we're torquing all our bolts, 5/8, 210 foot-pounds. It's a lot of work, okay? A wrench like this could definitely make life easier. I'm going to get a vibration and a light at 210. That's 2057. And that's 208. .2. We're set. We'll do all the bolts the same. You need someone on the inside of that holding an open end wrench and holding on to it good. All 4 bolts, 210. It's 210 foot-pounds of torque. This is what I'm using to currently fill the Reese 5th Airborne pin box airbag. You're going to want a chock that's capable of going forwards and back. It's easier to use this end on it than it is not. Now, this DeWalt is amazing. It's not a promotion for DeWalt at all. It is what it is. I utilize this thing. It's capable of 120 psi. We'll talk about airbag pressure in a second inside that pin box. Why I say it doesn't make the most sense for me to use this is because I have an air compressor built into my truck, because I have airbags in my truck also. On that note, this is what I'm using because I haven't hooked a line up to it and I don't feel like dealing with it. I don't have the time. But I carry this everywhere as I go. It actually fits in the compartment of my camper really well. It's really lightweight and it's great for bicycles, roadside repair, you name it. It's one of those handy things to have. So here's the gauge and the chuck I'm using, and we'll show you how to fill the pin box with air. Right now it's fully full because the lever that's in here that I'm going to show you, you can't see, and we'll show you what that looks like empty here. See how you can see the light all the way through it. It's just a great image of the inside. We can see the components in here. We can see the airbag up front and inside behind the shock arm there. It's all concealed on the inside. Really, really nice. Okay, this is what it'll look like when there is no air in the airbags. You can see how the hole is completely blocked off the sight window here. That is no air in the airbags. You can adjust it from there. Now, looking at it closely, you'll see the plate, there's no gap. You'll also see that the distance from the top of the camper to the rail isn't as high too. So you gain quite a bit of clearance by putting air on there. So we're going to show you now how to put air into the airbag. Alright guys, so as always, Anderson's instructions are phenomenal. We talk about the sight window. You could see normal air position, okay, maximum air position, and obviously the bag is low or empty. I called their technical support and they're amazing. They were able to tell me that the blow-off valve on this, which I'm going to go up top and show you, but the blow-off valve on this, located right here, is set at around 100 to 110 psi. So theoretically, anywhere from anything above 0 to 90 psi, you could run in this hitch. So I just want you guys to realize that. Again, you really don't want to go over 100 psi. That's where the blow-off is going to be. And depending on tongue weight, you know, that could change too. So this is one of those things that what works for me may not work for you. I've been running the bag somewhere between 25 psi to 30 psi. I haven't tried anything higher than that because it's been working well for me. But I just want you guys to realize that there is a maximum. And you should be obviously above 0, because you definitely want to be above 0, because if you look here, you will see the plate is right up against it. Alright, and I'm talking about that plate right there. See how it's resting on it? That's because the load is on this truck right now and there's no air, as you can see in the view window, in it. So we're going to go up there and show you how to put air in this using that little DeWalt guy right there. The first thing we have to do is remove the front screw-off piece. The rear of the camper is this direction, okay? Real easy. You're just going to come in here. I've already got it started to make shorter video. You're just going to unscrew this cap. Okay? Do not drop this cap down the hole. You won't be happy. Okay? Set it somewhere safe and get it out of the way. Okay? The next step we're going to do is we already have our air compressor ready. You don't have to use something with a gauge. It's recommended because obviously you don't want to be out of that that PSI rating. And I showed you the sides and how this plate is flat right now. Okay, so we're going to probably leave the camera somewhere angled like we are here right now. Okay. So again, we're going to fill. We removed our cap. You can see the plate is flat, and against it, there's no air in it right now. And it's real simple. It's easier to use the back side of a truck like this. You're just going to come in there, pull tight on it like I am. I'll turn my gauge on here so you can see it. All right, pull tight, and we're going to put air in it. Okay, right there, we're 30 PSI. Right there. And you can see that plate, how it raised up here in the back, and you can see the gap. You never want to stick your fingers in there. You never want to stick your fingers in there. Obviously, if the airbag was to fail, which is pretty slim to none, but anything can happen, you'd lose your fingers. So I'll go out there now and show you the gap. And real easy, if you wanted to let pressure out of it, there's nothing to it. Just like doing a vehicle tire. Just come on it, and depending on what your unit's like, you can release the air. There's 21, 22 in it now. And I'm letting air out of it. I'm letting air out of it. We'll check my gauge. I'm down 20. And you should be seeing that plate collapsing. Real simple. And now we're 8.5 pounds there. Doesn't take much to fill this thing. So we fill it back up. You can see the plate. You can see how high that's lifted. Alright, we're 34 PSI right there. And we can bring it down to a setting we want. Alright, and again, this is going to be different for everybody's ride. Okay, I'm actually going to try it at 30. But that pressure valve won't blow off till between 100 and 110. So there's 30 PSI right there. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. There's nothing to it. So now I'll show you the side. Obviously you can see it here in the video, the way that plate rised, and we'll show you the sight window. Alright guys, here we are. This is the inside camera while I was showing you what you just saw. You see me take the cap off. As I showed, I said do not drop it down there like you know already. And you're going to see me put air in the bag right now is what you're going to see. So you can see the chuck going in at top. You're going to see me pull back on it, squeeze the knob, and now you're going to see the bag fill up with air. And you can see how the system moves up and down with the shock and that bottom plate. And like I was showing you, you can remove the air also just by letting some out. It's a pretty simple concept, and this gives you the inside view of what is actually going on with it. So it's kind of neat being able to see how it works and understanding how it works. It's a pretty slick design. You can see I'm taking air out of it now, and I'm going to adjust it to the pressure that I so desire. Again, you don't have to do this based off of pressure. Sight glass is fine. Sight glass is going to tell you if yours full, halfway, not full. Pretty simple. You can see I'm letting all the air out, and this is where in the video I said it had about 8.8, I believe, pounds in it, right about there. And I'm running my bags around the 25, 30, 35 max, and you'll see me put my 30 pounds, 30 PSI back in it. And of course, when I'm done, you're going to see me put the screw cap back on it. Tight is tight, and too tight's broken, and that's it. It's as simple as that. This gives you the view to see inside. And I'm going to show you, take you back outside now so you can check this out, see what the sight glass looks like. And then at the end here, we'll have some down the road, on-road video. So stay tuned. Alright, here's the sight window. Again, we don't stick our finger in there, but you can see it. You can see the light all the way through it. Airbag is showing completely full at 30 PSI. And you can now see the gap difference. And that was sitting flat against that. We raised quite considerably here, as you can see. So, pretty sweet. Their instructions, like I said, are great. Their texts are phenomenal. And I am super impressed with how high quality this 5th Airborne Reese hitch is. Fill their airbag. That's all what's left to do is to put our little cap piece back on. And we're just going to screw it on, finger tight. Tight is tight, too tight's broken. And this will be all set. and we're ready to roll. It's got a little O-ring built onto it. It'll seat in there. This obviously keeps, just like your automobile, keeps the debris out. And it's in, and it's all set. Remember, everybody's ride is going to be different. You have to test and figure out what works for you. I'm between 25 and 30 PSI is what I'm running in this 5th Airborne 20K hitch. And that part number is the 94, I believe it's the, I'll quote it inside, but it's the 94420, I believe is the part number on this bad boy. I don't know everything, okay? Always be safe, safety first. Figure out what your vehicle's capable of. Figure out what your trailer needs. What's the tongue weight of your trailer? This bad boy is rated for 5,000 pound tongue weight. Okay, I'm way under that. So far, I am so happy with this hitch. It was one of the greatest things that happened. They also make this in a Sidewinder that I'd be interested in testing out. And a lot of guys are going to that Reese airbag on the using the gooseneck. Reese has a lot of options. They're a high-end, top-notch company. And trust me, if I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't tell you that. I only have one complaint with this hitch. It's one very minor complaint. I feel like they could have put this in a little bit easier located spot with the cap, some sort of valve on the side or something a little bit easier. It's not night or day. This isn't something you have to mess with every time. Once you get this set, you see the sight window, you know it's good. So it's not like you have to do this every ride. But I do wish that this was just a little bit easier to get at why it's hooked up. Because obviously without weight on this, okay, you don't know what you're really getting out of it. So we're set with the weight and the full load on the truck right now. So stay tuned for some other footage in regards to this. And we're going to show you going down the road here. And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to do a high-speed video, which means I'm just going to speed up a lot of footage so you can see the movement. It's going to make it look like it's moving a lot, but it's not. But it's going to be able to show that movement. We're also going to do a regular speed video with a camera outside here like you're seeing, and with a camera located on the inside of that pin box so you can see what's going on and how it's working. So stay tuned for those footage, guys. Alright guys, here we are inside the pin box on the GoPro camera facing the rear. You'll see the airbag up top. You'll see the base plate here on the bottom connected to the shock arm. This is traveling down the road about 55 mile an hour. This video is at normal speed, what it would look like. This video now is sped up just so you can see the movements a little bit better on how well the suspension system actually works inside this Kingpin. It's phenomenal. You can see how it takes the hits. I went down some really rough roads, probably faster than I should just to get this documentation, and it worked really well. We've traveled an easy 1,500 miles on this exact setup that you see. I'm extremely pleased with it. I'm actually wowed. This is the same video in the second camera showing the outside view. Looks like the camper's moving around a lot. It's not. It's because this video is sped up. And so it looks like the movements are more frequent or solid. It's awesome system. I was hoping to do this with a regular Kingpin attachment. Fortunately, I loaned it out and don't have it right now. It's in Texas and it won't be back soon. So it's kind of ironic. I'm glad we were able to use the Anderson system with this because it really made this Anderson hitch special. It's so smooth. I strongly recommend this hitch for the Anderson and, of course, for any standard Kingpin hitch. This Kingpin box is phenomenal. Super high quality. I love how the airbag is concealed on the inside. Base plate suspension in it works great. Again, by far the smoothest ride yet. This is pulling a 44 foot 365/16 Wolfpack Platinum. I'm pulling about 16,000 pounds in this video. So I couldn't be more pleased with the results of this hitch system. Don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps the channel, guys. And until we meet again, I hope you hit subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Nate, Rebel Liners.